I'm sure a specific few of you out there are already getting ready on your keyboards to type out, oh my god, Apple sucks, why'd you get Apple, this and that, yada yada yada. Okay, before we do all of that, hold the keyboards and let me explain everything here, okay? So here we go. So, yes, just recently in late December, I decided to buy myself a new iMac. So, why'd I do that? Well, I'll tell you. Over here is my old 2009 iMac, and I've been using it since that year, so just over 9 years. Now, and it was a great computer. It was a great computer for a very long time. There were, of course, some issues with it, and you can see the reflection of the rug there and everything. Some of the issues were, well, this was a fixable problem. It wasn't really my fault, but what was it? In 2012, there was a recall on these particular iMacs that the Seagate hard drives had a chance of failing. So in late 2012, believe it or not, just around the time Hurricane Sandy hit, I brought this to the Apple Store, and obviously I backed up the old hard drive, and they replaced the hard drive, no charge. So that was all good. Then in late 2013, I'm going to say probably around October, this computer started having display issues, and the problem was the backlighting for the screen was going out. Now, I knew it was just a backlight because I took a flashlight, like an LED flashlight, and put it to the screen, excuse me, to the screen, and you could see that that the display was there. It just wasn't getting lit up. So the way I kind of got around that was I would do a keyboard command to force the display to go to sleep, and then hit anything to wake it back up. Sometimes the display would come back on for quite a long time. Other times it would come on for 2 seconds, go out again. And it would repeat that about 5 to 7 times before finally staying on for a while before it would happen again. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a problem here. So one problem I did have with these older iMacs was they felt really hot, okay? And I wasn't very comfortable with the temperature they were getting, especially being these all-in-one things, okay? So I bought an application called SMC Fan Control, which allows you to raise the minimum fan speeds of the iMacs. I might work with Windows PCs too, I'm not sure, but anyway, I got that. So the fan speeds went up, and the problem did seem to go away for a while. Then I think at one point the problem came back or something. I can't exactly remember what happened. It was such a long time ago by this point, and basically, so I was like, okay, this is going to be a problem. I got to get this looked at. Now, at the time, I didn't really want to replace this iMac for certain reasons, so I was just like, you know what do you have to do? So the first thing they did was they replaced the backlight board. Turns out that didn't fix the problem, but thankfully they refunded me for that. But I still got I had the new backlight board, so I had like a new one for nothing. Then I brought it back home. Guess what? It happened again. So the only other option left was to replace the entire display. So they did that, and the computer worked all nice and well. And as you know, in 2015, I'm sorry, I'm just standing here looking at this, but I'm just trying to give you guys like a little backstory here. In 2015, as you know, I started. I got a new camera, my HD camera, which you're all familiar with, that I'm using right now, obviously. And when I did the pool repair videos, even with the fan speeds raised, okay, the CPU was going up to like when it was processing the 1080p videos. The CPU was going up to like 170 degrees, and that's like not safe. So I was like, okay, so I told the fan control to put all the fans to the full speed when it renders the videos. And that brought it down to about maybe like 140. That's still pretty hot, but I mean still 30 degrees less. And I don't know what was going on. Maybe something was getting dry inside. Maybe well, I'll get to that in a second. Let me rephrase that. So something maybe got covered with dust inside. Jay had said it's possible that maybe the thermal paste for the processors dried out. That could happen too. I'm really not sure. So during that time, I decided to do all my videos on the laptop. If I uploaded any clips that were just one clip, I'd do it on here and just upload the raw file. But if I had to do any video editing, I would do it on the laptop over there. And so that's all good and everything. And then, believe it or not, 2 days before Christmas, guess what? That display problem came back again. So when that happened, I was like, it's not worth it to upgrade this, whatever. It's just time to replace it. I mean, I was going to upgrade it, but when that display issue came back, I was like, no. So just it wasn't worth it anymore. And I should also tell you that in 2014, the disk drive stopped working. It wasn't reading disks anymore. I'd put the disk in, it would try to read it, it would eject it. And after I just had that display work done, I was like, no, it's not worth it. The disk drive can just stay broken. I'll just do whatever I have to. I wasn't going to deal with it. So after that whole fiasco, I went to the Apple store, and I talked with the person. He was very good. He wasn't trying to sell me anything. I explained to him what I wanted to do, what I was looking for, and then he recommended the iMac that I have now, which I'll show you in a little bit. And yeah, so that's basically how it all came to be. So, I used this computer for over 9 years, okay? Now, if I may say, how many Apple users out there can say they've held on to a piece of hardware for 9 years? Not many these days, okay? So, just my case in point, I don't buy the newest thing all the time when it comes out, all right? I had this thing for 9 years, and given everything that was going on, it was time to replace it. So basically, I replaced it with another 27-inch iMac right here. Same desktop, as you can see. What's cool is that the dock kind of looks like it did before, when did the dock change? I think 10.6, and it kind of looks like the older style that they used back when, so I kind of like that. If you like the specs, I'll give that to you right now. And yep, there it is. It's there's all the information on it. And this processor is obviously much higher than the 2009 iMac. So one of the reasons why I got this too is because I can definitely work on many more videos on this computer once again, and it'll be much faster. Processing them, uploading them. Well, I'm sorry, not really uploading them. Processing them, editing them, and anything else I have to do. And I'm going to keep my videos to 1080p. I'm not going to bother with 4K because I mean that's just a waste of hard drive space by this point. And this computer also has a 2 terabyte hard drive. Now, the 2009 iMac has a 1 terabyte hard drive. And the 1 terabyte hard drive was a lot of space for many years. It really was. Then, as you know, in 2015, I got this camera and I started uploading more high-definition videos, and obviously that's going to take up more hard drive space. So that's why I went with the 2 terabyte as a just in case, you know what I'm saying? Now, I do have these 2 external hard drives right here, okay? They're both LaCie. This one's from 2007. This one is from, I think, 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Now, funny point here. Let me turn this off for a second. This hard drive doesn't even spin up anymore. Watch this. See, it's trying and it's unable to. But thankfully, when I saw that hard drive was starting to go out, while it was still spinning fine, I copied everything from this drive over to that one, so I didn't lose anything in the process, which is good. There's only one reason why I still have that hard drive here, as a matter of fact, and that was for this thing right here. This is an iSight webcam from the early to mid-2000s, okay? And the only reason why I had it here with that hard drive is this. Firewire 400. We're going way back here. So, the only reason, like I said, the only reason why I had that drive was for this, okay? I use this camera just as a microphone for a few years now because the built-in microphone for the 2009 iMac, the sound quality is really pretty bad. So for many videos now, when you've been seeing me in front of the camera, I've been using this the whole time, just as a microphone. And honestly, it's worked very well. But if it turns out that the microphone on the new iMac is better than this one, or just as good, I'm just going to put this back in a box. I'm going to remove that hard drive, and I'm going to replace it with this. I have a newer one over here that's I've had it for a couple years now, but I haven't had use for it. Look at that, 4 terabytes by Seagate and USB 3.0. So I haven't had this I didn't really need this for a while, but now I think I might put this to good use. And also, I'll have even more space because this hard drive right here is 3 terabytes. Now, a fun fact, I got that hard drive from Amazon, and I still had a lot of gift balance left over for gift card balance for one of my relatives, okay? So, That hard drive, 3 terabyte, I got for $150, which really is not bad at all. So between this iMac, that external hard drive, and the other external hard drive, that's going to be, let's see, 4 and 3 is 7, plus 2, like 9 terabytes of space. That's a freaking ton. Mind you, though, one of these drives, could be both, I'm not sure, will have my Time Machine backup, so if ever I got to take my computer in for service, I'll have a full backup on one drive or both drives, and I can fully restore everything to the way it was before the computer had to be worked on, which is really good. Now, what I do like about this iMac is they actually did go back to, hopefully you're seeing that okay, they went back to 4 USB ports. Originally, between the 2009 iMac also had 4 USB ports, but I think at some point they brought it down to like 3 or 2. And people must have complained about that, because when I saw they went back to 4 again, that was really good. And you still got your Ethernet connection, your headphone jack, things like that, as you can see. There's a Thunderbolt connector right there, so I'm really glad they went back to those higher amounts of USB ports, because believe me, I use them, all right? So something that I actually have use for is good. Now, mind you, I'm buying this. I bought this iMac because I legit have things that I do that this hardware would be beneficial to me in terms of, you know, faster uploading videos. I'm sorry, I keep saying uploading. Editing videos, processing videos, accessing off-site servers, you know, for classwork, things like that. This hardware will really be beneficial to me. That allows me to do things much faster and much easier than I did before. And because the iMac has the standard USB connectors, I can still use my wired G5 keyboard. I still use the old-fashioned keyboard because the regular keys, I like that, and my Kensington mouse. I've had this mouse and keyboard now since 2005, and they still work perfectly. Awesome. And I'm glad I still have the regular keys. There's one thing I am not a fan of from Apple. I don't like the new keyboards. Those keys just feel so... They feel China. I'm just going to say it right now. They feel like China because they're so thick. They feel like they break easily. These keys are much easier, and this keyboard is just much more comfortable overall. And I guess that's it, guys. Okay, so let's just recap here. Okay, I held onto a Apple computer for over 9 years, and it served me well. And aside from those problems I mentioned, really they weren't that expensive problems, and one of them was even free because it was a recall. Okay. So I held onto a piece of Apple hardware for 9 years, okay? Most Apple users don't do that. I got this new hardware here because it generally has beneficial things for me that I will use. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just like, you know, oh, hey, I got the newest piece of hardware now, I'm better than you. No, I have good use for it, all right? If that still doesn't satisfy you guys, I'm not even telling you to like Apple, okay? But if my reasons still don't satisfy you, I'm just going to leave you with these few words here, okay? It was my money, not yours. I worked for it, you didn't. There you go, all right? So here's my new iMac, and I plan to make good use of it. And hopefully at some point in the future, you'll see videos of me in front of the camera, and we'll see how this one sounds, okay? So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.